I should have taken the free Botox. That's free Botox. And I said no. That was a mistake. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, or to it if this is the first time you are seeing my face. Thank you so much for clicking on it. My name is Jacy, and this is another episode of Dabbles and Babbles, where I dabble in a new craft while babbling about some random topic. Today's topic is about whether or not I agree that Los Angeles is fake. I feel like this stereotype comes from people thinking LA is only comprised of Beverly Hills overdone plastic surgery victims, or actors and influencers who will do anything to get ahead and gain followers, or rude Hollywood executives who will stab you in the front and judge you if you can't afford a Rolex. I have lived in Los Angeles for 5 years now, and I have some funny storytime snippets I wanted to share with you guys about my run-ins with these fake, phony, and rude kinds of people in LA. But I also have a little story time about how I found myself becoming one of these fake Angelinos, and how I have been trying to distance myself from the cliche. So while I'm babbling about these little snippets and my overall thoughts on Los Angeles, I will be dabbling in some foam and felt crafts, and I'm gonna make a beautiful little art piece it'll all tie in together. There'll be a punchline. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go watch my last video on float therapy. I really like that video, and the craft kind of ties it all together. So if you like videos like this, hanging out with me, babbling about a topic, and dabbling in some crafts, make sure to like this video and subscribe. I'm trying to hit 10,000 followers by Christmas time as my Christmas present from you guys. So make sure to do that if you aren't already following and you'd like hanging out with me. But let's hop into these storytime snippets about my run-ins with some fake Los Angeles residents. So this first storytime snippet starts a couple of years ago when I was getting my start in the modeling business. I didn't have an agent by any means. I was using this site called Backstage, which is freelance modeling and acting gigs for the not represented people that are looking to pursue that career. So I saw this one listing from a very bougie dermatologist here in Los Angeles that was offering free services in exchange for using your before and after photos for all of their promotional material. I am just now realizing I don't know how to draw a flower by memory. This is looking like a chubby gingerbread man. So one of these services that I saw they were offering for free was tattoo removal. Now this piqued my interest because I did a whole video about how I regret my tattoos. They were either impulse decisions or choices that I made when I was 18 years old and thought I'd be cool being inked up with Harry Potter tattoos. And so I wouldn't ever pay to get my tattoos removed because it's just not worth it, it's too expensive. But if it was for free in exchange for photos, heck yes, I would do it. So I applied and I filled out the application and they said, what service interests you? And this varied from Botox to fillers to lip flips and semi-permanent makeup, as well as tattoo removal. Nothing cosmetic surgery wise. I'm not about to go get a facelift at 27 years old, ya feel? So a couple days later, the dermatologist contacts me and they said, hey, we'd love to move forward. Can you come in for an in-person consultation so we can see what we're working with and see if it's something that would be mutually beneficial? And I was like, heck yes, I'm about to get rid of this dumb wrist tattoo. So I drive to their office, I check in, and I let them know that I'm here for my consultation. So the dermatologist comes in and she sits me down with a handheld mirror. And the first thing she says is, I know you applied for the tattoo removal service. However, we took a look at your Instagram and we think that you'd be a better candidate for some filler. And I was like, filler on my tattoos? How's that supposed to work? Is that some new cutting edge technology that I don't know about? No, she meant my face. She hands me the mirror and she tells me to look in the mirror and she says, see how your jaw isn't fully symmetrical, how one of your sides of your jaw is a little bit bigger than the other? We think that by adding a little filler in there, it'll really make your face more symmetrical and give you that more model-esque look. And I'm looking, I'm like, oh, I guess my jaw is bigger. I mean, I chew on one side a little harder, but I was like, yeah, I guess so. She also said that I had deeper under eye creases and a little filler could help pop out that crease and give me more of a youthful glow and really smooth everything out so it doesn't look like I have underbags. And I was like, oh, okay, I guess. That's not something I really noticed before. And then the coup de grace was, she pulls my hair back. I have to show you guys because this is ridiculous. She pulls my hair back and she goes, but the biggest thing we recommend is temple filler, because if you take a look, you have really shallow temples, and that is creating an unattractive shape to your whole head. But if you do a little poop, 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 poop right here in your temples, it'll really fill out your features and give you actually a more cut appearance to your cheekbones. So she started pointing out all these insecurities about my face that I didn't even know I had. Now, this dermatologist tried to assure me that these results would be very natural. They would go very, very, very light on the filler, but they wanted to promote some of their more natural fillers and that you don't have to do a bunch of CCs into your face to really get dramatic results. So she pulls out this binder and starts showing me some before and afters of people, and their results look good. It's like, oh yeah, I guess it does kind of refresh your look a little bit. But I was thinking about it, I was like, wait, did I just get baited and switched from my tattoo removal request to getting filler for them? And mind you, at this time, I was 27 years old. I don't need filler, and I didn't need to change my face, and I realized I don't need this stranger of a dermatologist telling me that my bone structure isn't conventionally attractive and that I should change it. So as she's trying to sit there and convince me, I was like, actually that's not what I thought I'd be doing. I'm not really comfortable in putting that in my face right now. I'll get filler someday, but not when I'm 27 years old and don't even realize these things about myself yet. And this dermatologist says, okay, yeah, totally understand. What about Botox instead? We can give you some really natural yet dramatic results with a little bit of Botox in your forehead. Because if you look, you do have some of those lines when you scrunch your eyebrows. And if you look at your ones and twos here, there are some pretty deep set creases that we can start putting some in there and making sure you will be wrinkle-free for life. Oh, I'm dumb. I should have taken the free Botox. That's free Botox, and I said no. That was a mistake. But at this point, I just had a sour taste in my mouth because I was like, no, you brought me in for tattoo removal and then tell me all the things that's wrong with my face? I think I'm just gonna leave and not accept any of your services. So I left, and it was kind of funny because I remember going back home and looking in the mirror and being like, wait, do I have shallow temples and deep set eye creases? Luckily that didn't affect me long term, because I would have been pretty pissed if she created some body dysmorphia that I didn't even have. But that was one experience in the modeling agency where I almost took a gig where they tried to convince me of something I didn't want to do and put permanent filler in my face when I didn't really need it as a 27-year-old. So that snippet definitely holds true that LA does care about looks, that a lot of people will pressure you into being more conventionally attractive, and they'll try to convince you that plastic surgery, cosmetic enhancements, and other aesthetically pleasing treatments will make you prettier and up to par with the Los Angeles beauty standard. So snippet number 2 happened sometime last year, and it was at a coffee shop. I go and review coffee shops. Make sure to follow me on Instagram to see them in my stories. I go and check out coffee shops, give them a review on vibes. I don't know, it's fun. Just follow me on all social media if you wanna hang out with me outside of the YouTube space. But I was at a coffee shop and I was waiting in line for my coffee. You know what, I think I bought way too much freaking foam. I'm only gonna use, I don't know, a little chunk. So as I'm waiting for my coffee, the woman behind me compliments my hair. She's like, oh, you have wonderful hair. And I'm like, thanks, it took years to get to this point. And we just kind of start chit-chatting. She also had a dog, so I lean down and I'm petting the dog, asking what their name is, all that good stuff. And we're just chit-chatting, waiting for our coffee. And during this time, she's very complimentary. She's like, wow, like you have such pretty eyes, like you have such pretty hair. And I'm like, stop, stop. Keep going, I got time. And she asked me like, oh, do I model? And I was like, oh, actually, I just got an agent recently and I've been going out and about and doing some little modeling gigs. And that's when she kind of started talking about my physical appearance below the neck. And she starts saying, wow, like you could really have a future in modeling, you know, if you just lost a couple of pounds. Actually, I'm a personal trainer and I could get you into modeling shape if that's something you're interested in, you know? I have met you and I realize that you're cool and I could give you like a discount because I normally charge a lot for my personal training services, but I mean, if it helps you out, I'd be willing to make that financial sacrifice. And I'm like, ma'am, don't call me fat while I'm waiting in line at a coffee shop. But essentially it felt like she only started the conversation so she could perhaps get a new customer. I don't think her intention was to be body shaming at all, but it was so weird how like what felt like a genuine interaction felt almost contrived as a way to possibly get a new client for her business. Which also makes me think, I wonder how often that works, because you gotta promote your business somehow, you know, not every video goes viral on TikTok and gets you new clients. But it was just so odd that like, I felt like that was such an LA thing to try to meet somebody organically, but instead they're either commenting on your body and letting you know that you don't fit this conventional attractiveness of this city, or just trying to use you for their own personal and financial gain. It was just a very weird experience, and I kindly let her know that I was not interested, and that I actually had a gym membership, and that I'm really strong, and actually I like the way my body is, and I don't need a personal trainer that I don't even know telling me that I need to change myself. Also, look how bad, guys, do these look like flowers? These are just chunky gingerbread men. I need these to be flowers. So the next Storytime snippet is actually the most recent one. Like I've mentioned, I take on some modeling gigs and I meet a lot of really cool people on set, whether it's fellow actors, producers, scriptwriters, whatever it is. And I love to talk, and so I love to chit chat with people, get to know them, learn about their hopes and dreams, how they got their start in the business, and where they see their own career goals going. So I was on set one day and it was a long set and I was making good friends. I was asking people about their past experiences with modeling and acting, what kind of future gigs they want coming up, as well as some of their side hustles and gigs, because everyone's got a side hustle in LA. And there was this one girl who was in the group who was just not really conversing. She was on her phone the whole time and she would chime in every now and then. And you could tell she was one of those people that she wasn't shy or anxious. It's not like she wasn't comfortable talking to us. It's as if she does this all the time and that it's not worth getting to know us because we're only gonna see each other once, add each other on Instagram, and that would be it. So she was nice, but again, not really answering questions, not really asking questions, not trying to get to know anybody, and not trying to hang out with this crew. I asked her a lot of questions, and she was a very successful actress. She is booked and busy, as we say in the biz. She has worked with celebrities and makeup artists galore. And so I started to get the feeling that she kind of thought she was better than everybody, and that conversing with us plebs in the trenches of trying to book gigs, that talking to us was just beneath her. Oh, my cats. Not one single flower is going to look alike. I even made a template, an outline, and I can't freaking follow it. Oh, but they'll be like snowflakes. Like every snowflake is its own unique, ugly, melting gingerbread man. But that makes him special. So it's nearing the end of the gig, and kind of the routine is that all the people that you made friends with, you add on social media. So that way you can keep tabs on their career and kind of support them along the way. So we're passing around our phones and I was like, hey, let me get your Instagram to this girl. So she goes and adds herself onto my Instagram. And then when she goes to add me back, she noticed in my Instagram bio that I have over 100,000 followers on TikTok. And so all of a sudden, despite hours and hours of trying to hang out and converse with this girl on set, she perks up, her eyes brighten, and she just starts asking me so many questions about TikTok. She says, how did you get so many followers? Are you able to make money on it? What kind of videos do you make? And how do you convert that audience onto other social media platforms? And so I kind of answer, I'm like, oh, honestly, I had like 2 videos go viral, and that's where the majority of my followers came from. TikTok's pretty cool, but it doesn't really pay me all that much, you know, but her eyes are glowing. She sees that number and lets me know that she has been struggling to grow on TikTok, where all of a sudden I meant absolutely nothing to her. She starts bringing up, we should totally collab sometime. Oh my gosh, when are you free for coffee? We can talk about video ideas, or I'd love to pick your brain more about this. And that's when I kind of realized, oh, she had no interest in learning about me or talking about me until I had something to offer her. And that was exposure for her own channel. Mind you, she had way more Instagram followers than I had, but I didn't see her number and go, we should totally do a photo shoot together, tag for tag. Yes, bestie. Like, I just want to support you, but maybe you can throw me a bone here and there or two or whatever. And so I kind of made like a I don't know, like, I guess an excuse of like, oh, I'm not really looking to collab right now. Like, I'm just trying to grow my audience and have fun. Like, TikTok isn't where my career goals lie. It's just more of a silly little outlet for me. And once I kind of denied the prospect of collaborating with her, shut down again. No more questions, no more interest in me. Oh, but do you still want to hang out and go on that coffee date? Oh, actually, I have so many gigs coming up. I don't know why I said that. I don't really have time. Sorry, but I'll follow you on social media and maybe we can get together in the future. Which again was code for like, well, if you get a big break and become famous, don't forget about me because I want to piggyback on your coattails there. Ain't gonna happen, girl. Ain't gonna happen. Oh, my cats, I tried cutting a felt flower and felt is so freaking hard to cut. What shape is this? Cameraman, zoom in on this. It looks like one of Floop's Fooglies. That's not a flower. So yes, there was a time where I found myself to be this person who only befriended somebody to somewhat get ahead. When I first moved to LA and kind of tried the entertainment business, I actually got asked to be a part of a pilot presentation for a TV show. So what this is, it's kind of like putting together a 5-minute clip of what a show could be, and you pitch that to network executives and be like, hey, here's what we envision for this TV show, and then they give you money to make a pilot episode, which then can get picked up for a show. So I was asked to be a part of this pilot presentation, and I was excited because I was like, whoa, imagine if this show gets picked up and then they cast me as the show. It'd be like Sarah Hyland getting her start on Modern Family kind of thing. I don't know if that's her story, but that's what I was envisioning. So I go on set and I had studied my lines, I was ready to go, and I met a bunch of very experienced actors and so incredibly talented. They were improvising, they were hilarious, they were so talented. And I was a little intimidated, but I personally think I kind of held my own against them. Once we were done filming this pilot presentation, you know, we were all kind of sitting around hanging out and they were like, oh, who are you represented by? Oh, I'm represented by this agency and yada, yada, yada. And then when they asked me like, oh, who's your agent? I was like, I don't have an agent. This is literally one of the first acting gigs I've ever done. And they were stunned. They were like, what? Like, you've never acted before? You don't have an agent? Wow, like you have the chops. Like, you should really look into that because you could make it in this business. And I was a little like, I can? Like, okay, let me know. And I was talking to this one guy and he was like, oh yeah, I have an agent, like give me your number and maybe I'll refer you, because a lot of acting agents, you either need to be discovered or referred to. They so rarely take applications because so many people are applying. And I had stars in my eyes. I was like, oh, really? You would do that for me? Thank you so much. I don't know if these are hibiscuses or daisies, but they're driving me crazy. I suck at flowers, but it's coming together. It's coming together. So I give him my number, we start following each other on Instagram, and I thought, bada bing, bada boom, I just got my big break in Hollywood, baby. And so I texted him just like, hey, like, how's it going? Would love to catch up sometime, go out for coffee. I'd love to pick your brain on the entertainment industry. And he gave me the runaround of like, oh, like I'm really busy right now, but you know, maybe sometime in the future. And I was like, okay, no worries. I started liking a lot of his stuff on Instagram and he was getting cast in a lot of things. And so I make sure to mention like, whoa, that's so awesome. Like, what a great opportunity for you. Like, hope I can get there someday. Oink, oink. It sounded like oink, oink. I said wink, wink. It's a subtle thing. Oh, these spider webs are gonna be the death of me. And months had passed and he never referred me. He didn't accept any of my offers to go out for coffee. And I was getting a little desperate because I stopped booking things. I wasn't getting as great of opportunities and I was getting a little desperate. And I'm not proud of it, but that's when I threw my Hail Mary and I had booked tickets to, I don't know, something here in LA. And I messaged him being like, hey, I got extra tickets to this thing. Like, would you want to go? And maybe I could pick your brain about Hollywood business and acting. Like, I'm trying to learn more and make more connections. Like, would you be interested? Ghosted. And I'd like to point out, it wasn't like in a romantic way. I wasn't like, would you like to go out for dinner with me? I was very obvious that I just wanted to maintain that connection because he had told me that he could hook me up with an agent essentially, but I blew it because I was just so desperate for what he could offer me as opposed to any type of friendship that of course he's gonna ghost me and be like, oh, this girl's desperate and only wants to use me. That's not worth my time. And when he ghosted me, I did have this realization of like, oh my gosh, how embarrassing of me to not only be that desperate, but to be the epitome of what I had been experiencing in LA in this industry. That a lot of people, once you realize they have something they could potentially offer you, then all of a sudden you want to be buddy buddies and use that to your advantage. And I had to really reflect and be like, I don't want to be one of those people. And I had in that moment, and I kind of made a point to never let that happen again. However, I do have some afterthoughts of LA despite these snippets. I think LA definitely has this stereotype of being fake, in large part due to the entertainment industry. And I would like to point out that I am an active participant in this entertainment industry. It is the people I'm surrounding myself with. It is the social circles I'm running in. It's the places that I'm going. So of course I'm going to experience a lot of this phoniness a little bit more than somebody not in the entertainment industry. But after 5 years of being here, that was what, only 3 or 4 snippets of people trying to get ahead and use you for their own advantage. I don't think that by any means outweigh some of the incredible connections that I have made and some of the amazing and genuine people that I have met. I am pursuing content creation and being an influencer. And I go to influencer events and I meet people that are rooting for you, that they're supporting you and that they don't want to just use you for clout. And it's amazing because sure, we'll be like, we should totally grab coffee sometime, and maybe we don't, but we follow each other on social media. We comment when we see them getting brand deals and sponsorships, and we are these allies supporting each other, and it doesn't feel competitive at all from what I've experienced. And the truth is that one of the main reasons that I love LA is because it seems like a lot of people are pursuing the entertainment industry and they all have the same perspective where nobody's judging you for doing that. I can be on the side of the street with a tripod and a clicker and nobody's giving me weird looks or asking me what I'm up to every now and then. I see people making TikToks in the grocery store and I'm just like, yes, get your content. I know the hustle. I know what it's like to go out and make videos. Get your content, girl. So I think I'm absolutely in the space that I need to be. And I really like that it feels like everybody else doesn't judge me for that because they're also pursuing it. And as a result, I haven't met a lot of those fake and phony people because everyone here is doing the same thing and we're all rooting for each other. So maybe instead of looking at that woman who told me I need to lose weight, maybe that's not what she was saying. She was genuinely trying to help me and support me, and in return I'd be supporting her small business. Or I know somebody who genuinely met and talked to somebody in a bar for a couple hours, and turns out that person owned a music studio and offered them discount recording sessions just for being so genuine and honest. And I feel like that is the majority of the experiences that I have. And so yes, while I was one of these people when I was fully immersed in the LA life and thought that's what you were supposed to do is use people for your own advantage, I definitely saw that that's not how people actually operate. These are a dime a dozen when these stories happen, but the genuine, honest, wonderful connections you make with so many of the other residents truly outweigh the fake stereotype that Los Angeles seems to have. And I'd like to point out that LA is not just about the entertainment industry. It's not about people trying to break into Hollywood. There are nearly 4 million people who live in Los Angeles, and there is such an insane amount of diversity, not only in cultures, religions, food, and past experiences of people, but also in their career fields. Not everybody's trying to break it as an actor or be a Hollywood executive. And I think that adds to the environment that not everybody is there to just use you. People do just want to make friends and make those genuine connections, even while you're standing in line at a coffee shop. So my advice is if you do come to LA and find that people are trying to convince you to get filler or telling you you need to lose weight or that you'd look more aesthetically beautiful with a spray tan, know that that's not common and know that you don't have to change anything about yourself. Because after my 5 years of living in Los Angeles, I realized I'm right where I need to be, both in meeting new people and exploring this industry. And by being my most authentic self, I will attract like-minded people and be happy living in Los Angeles. So that's gonna be it for this video and my thoughts on the fake stereotype of Los Angeles. Essentially, the SparkNotes version is, while I have had some experiences of people confirming that cliche, I have found LA to be a very friendly, welcoming place, and the people are extremely genuine, and I love it here. As far as my Dabble reveal, I did some felt and foam artwork to recreate my logo. So I don't know. I thought it was really cute and fun, and the tie-in is that I'm just going to continue to be my authentic self in all my natural beauty, because that's what makes me happiest. I hope you guys are enjoying this new format of dabbling and babbling. I think it has really reinvigorated my creativity, because I'll go to the craft store and see a craft idea and try to tie it in with some of the story times that I have. So some of the future ones might be more tame and mundane story times, as I call them. But I don't know, it gets me, I feel like I've been producing more content and getting excited about making videos again. I will say though, some of these crafts, they take me forever. Like, I had to pause the camera for like an hour just to finish cutting out these dang gingerbread floops fluglies flowers. But it's worth it, because I'm really enjoying all the crafts that turn out, because I'm decorating my apartment and entertaining you guys. Hopefully. But that's gonna be it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching this episode of Dabbles and Babbles. I will catch you in the next one. Toodles! And I wanted to show me and my true, authentic self. I should have done my hair today, so I could just compare it to myself instead of my logo. I don't know why I decided to be lazy and throw my hair into a bun. But this is me.